So I think it is. I ain't trying to point it out because they were all the police.
And then after that, he stopped fucking with the dude. So he hit him with that K and knocked him out of here.
That went through hell for 5 years for having a gun. As soon as he's now clear, guess what he back to doing? Yeah, this is that can't. The more they lock Bobby up, the tougher he get. The more he street. I ain't gonna lie to you.
NBA YoungBoy just touched down after serving federal time for those firearm charges, and the whole scene thought he was finally moving smart again. He was supposed to be on tight supervision, keeping things cool, but the second folks blinked, he popped right back out in the neighborhood, posted up like nothing ever changed. Cameras caught him surrounded by big crews, heavy energy, and everybody started whispering that he might be sliding right back into chaos he swore he left behind all them platinum plaques and billions of streams. People forget that Kentrell Gaulden spent years fighting federal cases, stressing in courtrooms and dealing with investigators who wanted him gone for good. He took a plea, did his time, and was expected to stay low-key. But then one signature from Donald Trump wiped that whole slate clean. The second that news hit the streets, folks started panicking like he might wild out harder than before, because suddenly he had no chains holding him back. Now, let me walk you through exactly how everything went down. From the moment he first got jammed up to the moment the president himself stepped in and flipped his whole future. This whole story got the street shaking and the music world locked in because the mix of legal drama, political power, and industry influence is something nobody saw coming. This situation got everything. Firearms, presidential pardons, massive arena shows. And the biggest question floating around right now, is YoungBoy really about to crash again? Or is this just the next crazy chapter in one of the wildest comeback stories hip-hop has ever seen? But before we go deeper, let me break something down real clear. Social media been going nuts saying YoungBoy is flashing firearms again, moving like he used to, and sliding right back into the same dangerous patterns he swore he was done with. People online are arguing nonstop, some saying he's just living his life, others saying he's risking everything all over again. And nobody can agree on what's really going on. Top that grew up with a dude until you notice one day he thought Hayden was cool. And then after that, he start fussing with the dude. So he hit him with that and knocked him out. Fans are going crazy. Critics are stressed. And the whole culture is watching every move like it's a live show happening in real time. People keep arguing, guessing, and acting like they know the truth. But we about to break everything down for real and separate what's solid from what's straight up noise. We're talking legal facts, street impact, and what this moment means for one of the most talked about figures in rap. May 28, 2025. That date flipped YoungBoy's entire life upside down. Kentrell Deshaun Gaulden, the Baton Rouge artist the world knows as NBA YoungBoy, had been battling federal courts, doing time, and sitting on home confinement after pleading guilty to heavy firearm charges. He was moving through the system slow, step by step. Then out of nowhere, Donald J. Trump granted him a full presidential pardon, and everything changed instantly. YoungBoy is taking out a gun and shooting people every day. YoungBoy understands the perception of him, right? Not saying he's not like that. He's not like that either. But he understands the perception. His fans wants to see the underscore, get what I'm saying? The thing is, everybody else, like as soon as they get a parking ticket or they get locked up for 25 minutes, they change their whole image. They go do prison reform. They say that's not my crew no more. They're disavowing it. The more they lock YB up, the tougher he get, the more he's street. I ain't gonna lie to you. You don't, just like that, the restrictions disappeared. No more probation, no more supervised release. That federal conviction that had him boxed and got wiped away like it never existed. And suddenly this man, so a global superstar with massive influence, had his legal slate reset in a way nobody expected. But hold on, don't get it twisted. That pardon only clears the federal conviction. It doesn't magically erase every state case he ever had. And it doesn't rewrite his whole criminal history. It doesn't give him a shield against future charges. And it definitely doesn't turn him into someone the system can't touch. Anyone thinking he's invincible now is fooling themselves. But here's where things start getting real wild. Since the restrictions tied directly to that federal case are gone, people started whispering and watching him extra close. Fans, bloggers, and even folks in the legal world are asking the same questions. Is he carrying again? Is he stepping back into the lifestyle that got him locked up before? Or is he actually trying to flip this into a real second chance and move clean this time? Things are heating up fast. So let's get into it. 2020. Picture the scene in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. NBA YoungBoy and his crew are out there shooting a music video, doing regular artist grind, getting footage for fans, and keeping their momentum alive. Everything seems normal until suddenly law enforcement pulls up out of nowhere, and what they claim they found turned the whole situation upside down instantly. Authorities said YoungBoy and multiple people around him were allegedly holding firearms while he was already a convicted felon. For YoungBoy, this wasn't some small-time issue or something he could just walk away from. This wasn't state-level drama. This was federal. And in the federal system, things hit way harder. Being a felon in possession of a firearm carries serious weight. And everyone knew the situation just got real for him fast. Fast forward to August 2024. After years of court battles, stress, delays, and legal pressure, YoungBoy and his team decided to switch strategies. They agreed to plead guilty to the federal weapon charge. But here's where the move shocked everybody. They had the whole case transferred from Louisiana to Utah. Why Utah? Simple. It was a legal chess move. His lawyers were trying to find the best path to a resolution without risking a long trial that could have dropped even harsher consequences on him. It was a gamble, but it was calculated and meant to finally bring some stability after years of uncertainty. Then December 2024 hits, and the moment of truth lands like a hammer. The sentencing comes down about 23 months in federal prison, 5 years of supervised probation after he got out, a $200,000 fine, and mandatory surrender of every firearm connected to the case. This wasn't just paperwork being stamped. This was the government laying out the consequences clearly. They were basically telling Kentra Galden, you broke federal law and this is what comes with it. For an artist whose brand is built on being authentic, gritty, and real about his past, this conviction became something that would shadow him everywhere he went. But the story didn't stop there. Not even close. April 2025 finally brought some light because of time served and the credits he earned inside the system. YoungBoy got released earlier than expected from federal prison, but he wasn't fully free yet. Not in the way most people think. He got moved straight to a halfway house. And after that, he was sent into home confinement, meaning he still had tight restrictions on every move he made. He's dealing with restrictions, check-ins, and nonstop eyes on him every single day. Even with all that, the public still gets quick glimpses of him through social media. You can see he's limited, but he's still creating, still staying connected to his supporters, still building that crazy anticipation for whatever move he's about to make next. Even locked down in certain ways, he kept the world watching. Now, let's be real. In the streets, in the neighborhoods, artists come from, and in hip-hop culture overall, weapons charges unfortunately come with the territory. A lot of these artists grow up in places where protection isn't optional. It's survival, and you don't always have time to wait for help to arrive. We've seen huge artists go through the same thing. From Lil Wayne to T.I., from Meek Mill to Playboi Carti, it's turned into an ugly but familiar pattern in the industry. But NBA YoungBoy's situation hit different because of who he was, how big he had become, and the timing of everything. This wasn't just another rapper catching a case. By the time law enforcement came for him, he had already turned into one of the most streamed artists in the entire country. His numbers were climbing past mainstream heavyweights, and sometimes he was outstreaming the biggest names in the game without even trying. His YouTube was going wild. His independent drops were charting with no massive label push, and his fan base was locked in on everything he said or posted. Every picture, every song, every message, they treated it like a major announcement. So when legal trouble hit him, it didn't stay personal. It turned into a cultural conversation happening in real time with millions of people watching. Then came the moment that flipped the whole storyline in a way nobody saw coming. May 28th, 2025, Donald J. Trump grants NBA YoungBoy a full presidential pardon. This wasn't a rumor. This wasn't social media gossip. The White House confirmed it officially. Major outlets from XXL to ABC News started blasting out the story, and everybody realized a moment's wait immediately. That's some wild power right there. Just think about what that means. A sitting U.S. president using his executive clemency authority to clear a rapper who was convicted of serious federal firearm charges. It was something the industry had never seen at this level, and it shook the culture instantly. This was a full pardon for someone whose music has always touched on the same lifestyle that once got him convicted in the first place. And this wasn't no halfway forgiveness either. This was a complete wipeout. Reports said his probation was gone. His supervised release was over, and every restriction tied directly to that federal case got erased. Legally, it was like the conviction never existed in the federal system at all. For his future federal consequences, this was a total reset. A clean slate handed to him, not by a judge or a jury, but through raw presidential power. But here's where the whole situation turns way deeper than just a celebrity getting a love. Trump tried to tap into hip-hop culture, reach younger black voters, and create a headline moment that would shake the internet. But on the flip side, the hip-hop world had a lot of folks cheering. Some major artists said this was exactly the second chance YoungBoy deserved, that his impact and talent made him worth investing in, and that clearing his record would give him the freedom to grow without that federal weight pulling him down anymore. The conversation quickly turned into something bigger, a whole debate about criminal justice and how society decides who gets another shot at life. People started asking real questions like, who actually deserves a second chance? Does fame change how justice works? And what message does it send to all the young people watching YoungBoy like he's their blueprint? His every move influences millions. So this moment hit way different. Then things got even louder. The tour announcement dropped. The Make America Slime Again tour, a title that clearly played off Trump's political slogan, whether it was intentional or just perfect timing. And this wasn't some small run. This was a massive rollout. 42 arena shows locked and scheduled from September through November 2025. The culture couldn't believe what they were seeing, and everybody had something to say about it. We're not talking little clubs or small cap rooms. This man was booked for full-blown arenas, the type of venues reserved for the biggest names in the whole industry. This tour wasn't just a comeback. It was YoungBoy stepping back into the world as a free man with no court dates, no constant check-ins, and no officers breathing down his neck. And the second that announcement hit, the speculation started going crazy. Social media exploded instantly. People were posting nonstop theories like, he can carry again now, and he's back to his old self. Just wait. He's going to be flashing guns in his videos again. Fan pages were debating like it was a courtroom, trying to figure out whether the pardon meant he was legally allowed to have firearms again. Some folks were hyped, saying he finally got his freedom back. Others were sweating it, saying it looked like a setup for trouble all over again and a repeat of the same choices that got him hit with federal charges in the first place. All the rappers right now, it's like this ain't fair, man. This ain't mother, man. Because you know what it is. Yo, it's just, I know y'all gonna be like, yo, act your Ryan YoungBoy's dick. Pause. No, I'm not. Like, chat, he's probably the only rapper that gets to the level of, yo, he's doing an arena. He just came off a $75 million tour. They grossed $75 million. Yet, we still believe that he's toting guns like ready to shoot a Nate. Usually it's one or the other. If we really think that you're the crash out, you're not going on tour to do an arena. We usually think you're the __ who goes to like, you get one or two shows because you're really living like that. He's the only person that I think maintained the image that he might shoot a __ today, but he's selling out a STA stadium tomorrow. And I hope y'all understand but here's the part that most people miss while they're arguing online. The real key to understanding this whole situation is knowing exactly what a presidential pardon actually does and what it doesn't do. The pardon wiped out the federal conviction and the penalties tied to that specific case. No more probation visits. No more drug tests. No more federal limits on where he can travel or who he can be around in that narrow legal zone. Yes, some freedoms came back into play. But here's where social media gets it twisted. A presidential pardon doesn't automatically restore firearm rights in every situation. It doesn't override state convictions. It doesn't cancel out older charges. And it definitely doesn't give immunity from future legal problems. Federal law and state law don't work on the same system. They overlap. They clash. They follow different rules depending on where you are and what your history looks like. So even if someone is technically allowed to possess a firearm under one set of rules, there might be another set of laws blocking it. Different states have different requirements, different restrictions, and different definitions of what's legal. And even when someone is cleared to carry, federal rules still control what types of weapons they can have, how they can get them, and how they can legally use them. Held for 5 years for having a gun. As soon as he now clear, guess what he back to doing? Yeah, this is A__ that can't learn. It's A_ that can't learn. This is a real crash out. A lot of fans think the pardon turned young boy into someone untouchable. But the truth is way more complicated than the rumor is flying around online. So when people run around saying young boy can carry firearms again, that's a super simplified version of a very complicated legal situation. Could he possibly be allowed to legally possess certain weapons under specific conditions now that the federal conviction is pardoned? Maybe. But that depends on the state he's in, his past record, and a whole bunch of legal factors that aren't as simple as social media makes them sound. But here's the bigger question. Even if he could, does that mean he should? Is that a smart move considering his history, the spotlight on him, and the way every single thing he does gets magnified across the internet? That's a whole separate conversation. And one thing is guaranteed, that pardon does not make him untouchable. If he violates any laws, he can still be charged, arrested, and prosecuted just like anybody else. Kind of like, you know what I mean? Like double Dutch, like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm about to stop the violence. Yo, this was Young Boy a month ago. Yo, everybody know how this is gonna go. Here we go. Young Boy Atlanta, accept the warrant. This is Young Boy right here. Appreciate you playing, and why doing this for me? I want to say slow, because I want to be honest with y'all. Don't tell me you don't tell. Now, let's talk money, because the financial pressure behind this comeback is huge. This tour has the potential to bring in millions. Promoters locked in massive venues strictly because of his drawing power. There's a whole machine built around him now, and he's expected to show up, stay sharp, deliver, and avoid anything that could blow the entire operation apart. And for anybody who doesn't fully get why a presidential pardon hits so hard in hip-hop culture, let me break it down. This isn't the first time the world has seen the justice system bend for someone with influence. We've seen commutations like Alice Marie Johnson, a case boosted by Kim Kardashian, and we've seen clemency for various nonviolent offenders. But a full presidential pardon for someone as controversial and culturally dominant as NBA YoungBoy, someone whose music openly reflects a lifestyle that got him wrapped up in legal trouble, that's a whole different thing. That's a moment that shakes the entire culture, not just the courtroom. And it speaks to a deeper tension in hip-hop. The fight between showing growth versus staying connected to the environment that shaped your voice. When an artist gets successful and steps back from the struggle, people start calling them soft, saying they're out of touch with the streets. But when they keep those same street ties alive, even after fame and money come in, they end up risking everything, falling back into legal trouble and repeating the same painful cycles. A lot of artists have been caught in that trap, and Young Boy's pardon puts him right at a major crossroads. This moment isn't just about his personal choices. It is tied into bigger conversations about criminal justice, hip-hop, fame, responsibility, and how you move when the entire world is watching your next step. Thousands of people are locked up on similar charges every single year, but they don't get headlines. They don't get presidential attention, and they definitely don't get a spotlight big enough to sway public opinion. They deal with the same stress, the same fear, the same consequences, just without platinum album, superstar status, or elite lawyers fighting for them. And it forces a real question. Does talent create a different level of justice in this country? From a public safety angle, the whole thing gets even heavier. Gun violence hits neighborhoods hard, and federal firearm laws exist to keep people with violent paths away from weapons. So when someone as influential as NBA YoungBoy Someone whose music has always tapped into the same lifestyle that led to his charges gets pardoned. People ask what message that sends to communities already dealing with the fallout. Boy is back on his, you know what I mean, pistol-toe teen doing his thing. You know what I mean? Eventually he'll get back to stop the violence. But not right now. Okay, not right now. Okay, slime cry on the way. But clearly he's not going to stop from putting out new music. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Again, I know some of you think I'm glazing. Maybe I just have a closer perspective to kind of see how some of the inner workings of what happens with him. And I'm giving him credit to where I feel like I don't think he's an idiot. But I think he knows that perception-wise and what he represents, if he just goes gospel, that won't work. And he knows enough that you still got to portray the same things. I'm not saying portray like he's not really living like that, but you got to show people that, you know what I mean? __, want to see top with the mini Drake, right? Then there's the cultural angle. Should an artist be defined forever by the worst moment of their life? Hip-hop has always celebrated growth. Fighting through struggle, rising up, leveling up. If we don't allow artists to evolve, are we putting expectations on them that nobody could meet? That's a real conversation. Fans are split. Some are hyped because their favorite artist finally caught a break they feel he earned. Others are nervous, saying it sends a wrong signal and encourages dangerous behavior. Meanwhile, the kids who look up to him are watching closely. Move once life, hand him another shot. Young Boy got something most people could never even dream of. A full legal reset, handed straight from presidential power. Now the whole world is watching to see what he does with it. Does he level up and use his influence in a smart way while still staying true to who he is? Or does he slip right back into the same patterns that had him facing federal charges in the first place? Proving every critic out there right. Right now, hip-hop culture itself is standing at a crossroads. For decades, the genre pushed the idea of being real, staying connected to your background, holding on to the lifestyle that shaped your story. But the truth is, that same mindset often collides with reality, and the results are tragic. We've seen too many artists lose everything. Careers ruined, lives taken, futures destroyed, all because they felt pressure to keep their street credibility intact. How many artists could have turned into mentors, community voices, and leaders if the culture gave them real room to grow? How many could have made it out clean if they weren't boxed by expectations to act the same way they did before the fame hit? What happens next for NBA YoungBoy is bigger than music. It's a whole cultural case study. His Make America Slime Again tour is more than a lineup of concerts. It's a live test of whether somebody can come back strong after federal charges, a presidential pardon, and nonstop public attention. Every performance will be watched. Every lyric will be broken down. Every move he makes will be freeze-framed by the internet. If he finishes his tour without trouble and uses his platform with some responsibility, while still keeping that raw edge his fans love, it could become a blueprint for real hip-hop redemption. It could show people that clemency, when given to someone with genuine talent and influence, can lead to positive results instead of chaos. But if things go left, new drama, new cases, new controversies, it'll add fuel to the arguments against celebrity pardons and raise major questions about accountability and trust. Future presidents will be way more cautious about ever granting clemency to controversial artists again if this goes the wrong way for the culture. Young Boy's path right now is bigger than just music. Is shaping how people think about artist responsibility, behavior, and whether we can separate the art from the artist. Millions of young fans are watching every move he makes, and how he handles his rare second chance sends a loud message about what's possible when life gives you a reset. So, what do you think about NBA YoungBoy's pardon, and where he goes from here? Is this redemption, or just another round of trouble waiting to happen? Should presidential pardons be used on high-profile entertainers with serious convictions? Or does that make the system look unfair to everyone else? And how should hip-hop balance being authentic with actually growing up and moving smarter while the world is watching? We gotta ask ourselves something to it, fans. What part are we playing in all this? Are we showing love to positive moves and growth? Or are we pushing artists toward reckless behavior just because it keeps things exciting online? Every stream, every share, Every post we hype up sends a signal about what we want from these artists. So, here's what I need you to do. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's have a real conversation about justice, redemption, hip-hop culture, and what we expect from the people we support. Smash that like button. Share this video with all your homeboys. And make sure you subscribe to Rap Uncovered and turn those notifications on so you never miss what's happening out here in the streets. Because the streets never sleep, and we're just getting started with these stories. We're dropping heat every single day, and tomorrow's upload is going to be even crazier, even deeper, and absolutely unmissable. So lock in with the family. We'll catch them in the next one right here at Rap Uncovered, where the truth of the streets lies.